Okay, I think I am ready to tackle my long-term commitment of keeping this national forest safe from total destruction.
I am glad to hear you've really thought this through.
Of course.
Campo Santo's forested foray stokes the flames of the walking sim genre, delivering a refreshingly mature saunter through vibrant Wyoming. Technical shortcomings and some by-the-numbers gameplay threaten to smother the blaze, but the endearing wit between its characters and the enigmatic goings-on ensure this trail with a tale burns brightly. Following his wife's heartbreaking diagnosis, protagonist Henry seeks to leave his troubled marriage behind for a season, volunteering as a fire lookout for Shoshone National Park. Supervised by the reticent Delilah, the two form a close bond from a distance, building rapport over walkie-talkies in between dousing road campfires and yelling at rebellious teens.
You gotta take it easy with the fireworks, alright?
You ought to take it easy at the Sizzler buffet. Chelsea, what?
But when a series of unusual events uncovers a credible conspiracy, Henry's summer of respite is put on ice, sending the duo spiralling down the rabbit hole as they attempt to piece it all together.
It doesn't seem that dangerous. Whoa, whoa! Oh, no!
Henry!
Seriously, it's completely fine in here.
God damn it.
Underpinning the surreal is a script rich with natural candour, replicating the emotionally charged nature of a real-life conversation. Henry and Delilah's displays of bravado dissolve convincingly as their relationship intensifies and they expose their vulnerabilities. At times it's almost uncomfortable in its intimacy, pushing the limits of just how human a coded creation can become.
She's actually very sick. I shouldn't be here.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, you are here, and it's beautiful, and escaping isn't always something bad.
Yeah, sure.
It's impossible not to grow attached to the pair, and makes the game's conclusion all the more bittersweet. Comparable to the fleeting escapades of a childhood summer, leaving you in an instant state of nostalgia. During their adventures, you are allowed some level of agency over Henry's responses, but regardless of whether you choose to exchange a sarcastic retort or stay silent, the story arc largely remains the same. This actually works in the game's favour. By reducing the impact of your choices to a subtle change of tone, it elegantly allows for both freedom of choice and a strongly penned narrative.
There are two naked ladies out here.
Can you handle that?
Come on, I like naked ladies, same as anyone, but there's, you know...
Two?
Yeah.
I know this will be tough for you, but try to pick your tongue up off the ground and do your job.
Okay.
Because of Firewatch's unrelenting focus on the delivery of its plot, the resulting gameplay regrettably pales in comparison. Routinely making use of a primitive map and compass to track your trek, you'll establish climbing routes and crack open lockboxes en route to your next big lead. These limited interactions remain faithful to the context of the story, though make your time spent navigating the world feel a touch banal. Beyond that, there's a scattering of secret areas that become accessible later in the game as you return better equipped to remove the obstruction. The rewards that lay within help build a more complete picture, shedding light on those who were stationed there prior to your arrival and how they fared against their own demons. Bolder by far than its worldly interplay is the compelling artistic direction. Heavily influenced by the National Park's service posters of the New Deal era, their inspiration is evident throughout. Striking palettes and strong line work intensify the sunbathed vistas, and establish a coherent tone in each of the game's starkly contrasting acts. Shifting from the welcoming warmth of oranges and reds to the unsettling serenity of foreboding blues and blacks. Radiant rays from the sun add the finishing touches to this panoramic paradise in the daylight hours. Then as night envelops the treetops, the woodlands fast become steeped in shadow and secrecy. Further adding to the summer vacation tropes, the game provides an appropriately retro camera for documenting your expedition, limited to 24 snaps in a single playthrough. You'll form a real connection with the surrounding flora and fauna, making you mindfully consider the composition of each shot. A piano, bass, and synth fusion guides your emotions in the opening text-based section of the game, steering you from the optimistic origins of Henry and his wife Julia to the dreary discomfort of their present reality. It's a memorable introduction, both for the game and Chris Remo's ingeniously dynamic score. Keeping tabs on where you are in the narrative as well as the world, it will gently transition when the moment is right, with a return to the intended path initiating an ambient acoustic number, and a successful infiltration triggering the perpetual thump of a bass guitar. Owing to its careful construction, no note ever felt flat, and every single composition flawlessly complemented this emotionally exhausting journey. Concerning the more functional parts of the soundscape, they successfully help convey Henry's movements and interactions, but when used environmentally, the visible elements don't always reflect the audio. One example saw me exploring the burnt-out remains of a neighbouring watchtower, as billowing westerly winds spilled into the forest below. Visually, however, the scene is completely static, with no actual movement in reaction to the audible gale. Although only ever a minor hindrance, it's worth mentioning the issues I had with performance. When entering a new area or moving any faster than a crawl, I would frequently experience stutters. It didn't make me want to put the game down, but there were times where the frequency would begin to affect my enjoyment. And regardless of your platform of choice or the capability of your system, it seems to be a regular occurrence. On console, the Nintendo Switch fares worst of all. Even after a number of patches that tried to remedy the situation, it is still far from perfect. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One achieve sharper shadows and cleaner resolutions, but aren't completely immune to sub-30 frames either. Firewatch is currently available to buy on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch, with the latter version privy to a chunk of exclusive content. With no DLC to speak of, and physical copies of the game only released in a limited capacity several years ago, digital is the sole way to experience this game at a sensible price. All platforms have the game priced between £15 to £16, or $20 to $22, and regularly see it on sale for around £4 or $5, so it'd be wise to add this one to your wishlist. True to form, I waited it out for a sale, and tracked it down on Steam whilst only paying £3.74. Kindled by a convincing candour between its two leads, and some glowing artistic direction, Firewatch's story-driven stroll strikes an emotional chord, both in its writing and commendable use of sound. Hiking through the Wyoming wilderness isn't always as smooth or as playful as its charismatic cast, but overall, Firewatch is a fierce blaze that's worthy of your attention.
Okay, I'm looking at it again.
I love how they look at night. During the day it's just smoke, but when the sun is down, you can just get lost.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.